In the available literature, we can find various arguments for and against corporate social responsibility. There are two groups of arguments for corporate social responsibility: ethical and instrumental. The ethical argument for CSR derives from religious principles, philosophical frameworks, social norms, says that firms are compelled to behave in a socially responsible manner because it is the morally correct thing to do. In its extreme, the company, according to this argument, should behave in an ethically correct way, even if it will involve an unproductive resource expenditure for the firm. This is a rather deontological line of argumentation. The instrumental argument for CSR shows another direction. It arguments instrumentally that it counts for the company to behave ethically. CSR actions will benefit the individual firm over time. By appearing responsible, a firm can proactively anticipate and avoid government regulations, exploit opportunities arising from increasing levels of cultural, environmental, and sexual awareness, differentiate its products from those of less proactive competitors, and continue to privilege economic pursuits. This argument is a rather utilitarian one. There are also two kinds of arguments against corporate social responsibility rooted in institutional thought and in property rights framework. The institutional function argument is focused to show the limitations of the company to exert such a function of social responsibility. A company can't replace in this function non-corporate institutions such as governments, labor unions, civic and religious organizations. Business managers have not enough competences and resources to implement public policy. There are also no mechanisms to make the company accountable for its actions, unlike governmental bodies which can be held accountable through electoral mechanisms. The control over market mechanism is not sufficient as soon as it gives a right not to those who are respecting the rights of the society, but instead gives rights to those who possess more and so can occupy a better position in the market. There is also a risk that if a business will expand its institutional role, it will gain tremendous authority without accountability. Property rights argument against social responsibility of the company is rooted in neoclassical capitalism and is welcomed by financial services, public banking institutions, pension funds, insurance corporations, stock exchanges, broker-age corporations, managed investment corporations, investment trusts, personal investment planners, advisors, and brokers. It's argued that management has no right to do anything other than act in ways which increase stockholder value. If the company acts diversely, it violates the management's legal, moral, fiduciary responsibilities. Although this approach was heavily criticized, it was applied to justify leverages buyouts in the corporate sector during the 1960s and 1980s. Although such transactions harmed auxiliary stakeholders, it was argued that they are justified because of the primacy of stockholder rights over those of auxiliary stakeholders and management's duty to maximize economic performance. In business ethics literature, we will find primarily the position that the company gains due to CSR. The governmental rules shall enable the company to exert its moral obligations so that it would not harm business. However, one has to bear in mind that the company's responsibility can't replace the activity of the government and other organizations representing the rights of certain groups.